Welcome back to Railroads Online. We're continuing our journey around the map. We're at the smelter and still doing all these little side loops. We came in with the Class 70 sitting over there in the yards right now, and it is destined to go to the coal mine. But before that, we're filling up all the resources here. Last episode we got here. This episode we're going to go get the coal, and then next episode we'll go get Cordwood. The Muggle's out of its parking position here on the left. It's full of water, it's full of fire. It's got 9 beautiful ore hoppers in the back of it ready to go. So yeah, let's get into this and get moving, and then I'll show you the map along the way if I can find the hitbox. So let's head off. We can get rid of the wheel spin. There we go. It's great to see a big ore train in action. So while she builds up her steam and starts heading off, let's have a look at the map. So we'll lose audio for a sec. So what's going to happen is we're going to come out on this lower track here, round. We'll have to change these points. We'll go across the ravine, change these points. This is normally the line where you do the logs, lumber and beams, and come back. In this case, we're going to use the same lower track, which is our 3% upgrade, and then we're going to make our way all the way down to the iron mine. And unlike the wood-based train that would go around, do the loop, and go back home to the sawmill, we're going to do a U-turn, come back on the high line. This is the line that most people have to do. Well, you have to do 4 or 5 degrees on it. Come down, we'll have to change these points as well. Back, nice view of the waterfall, and then back home, ready for drop off, and then a bit of shunting, and we'll park her. So yeah, let's see how Angel's going. I'm going to watch the volume of her. She can get a bit loud. We're going to bring her up to 50. Turn the cylinder clocks off. And she's been a bit loud, so I'm going to bring down the volume on her a little bit. Keep an eye on her really chugging away. She does have a great sound to her, but she is loud. So is the Class 70. So that's where we make our way up this hill. This is a 2-degree hill around the back of Smelter Mountain, or Smelter Hill. We're going to have to stop at the top of the hill to put those points. You can see how they're both indicated as red right now in the direction we want to go. Both the left and the bottom right one are both wrong. Really great test of being able to stop on a hill and then start again. We might get some wheel slippage. I haven't been using sand ever. Tell me in the comments whether you think actually sand actually works these days. But I don't have trouble anyway. I can get her to start with a pretty big load without much issues. So let's ease it down and just let it roll to a stop outside this point. We won't jinx it too much. We'll just put the brakes on. So basically, this is the main line. So you shouldn't. This is not really part of the main line. This is more like a return from foreign lands. And so at that point there is under a little bit of contention. It does cause you to stop in both directions. I can find the hitbox. The hitbox of the Mogul definitely has changed. We're going to give it a fair bit of reg, maybe 50%. We'll put the cylinder clocks on for no good reason. We'll ease off the brake. And let's see. There she goes, no slipping. She does a great job. Considering how much weight is on her, she does a really good job. Now we need to take this a little bit slow through here. It is a little bit curvy and has a bridge. We also have the second set of points to deal with. A little bit more volume. Really appreciate her howling through here. Bring this back to a reasonable amount as we go around this tight corner. Well, there's a lot of trees in this area just to give it a little bit more character. Something like a remote area of the wilderness. I may have taken that a little bit too far. I probably should have cleared these two slightly overhanging the track. Doesn't cause a derailment, so actually there's three of them. So yeah. Track to the left is how we're going to return. This is the traditional way to the High Line. Here's that High Line up here. You can see it over there. Just taking this relatively easy. This is quite a steep bridge. This area is a curve and a climb, and particularly when you have an S situation, you don't want to put too much stress on the train. But it does take a lot of effort to climb up out of the out of here and up, even to this height level, let alone up to the High Line. I'm going to go as far forward as possible. Points are right here. Make sure we have the brake on, because this will definitely want to slide backwards. You can see it, even at 40, she's barely moving. Probably need to redesign this a bit. The approach to the point should be flatter, but the geometry is just really, really hard to work out. You can see, I mean, there's a bit of height. Actually, that's actually high to come low. So, yeah. Needs a little bit of work there. It needs to get done for the 7th time rather than the 8th. But we'll take it easy and we should be able to get her going. Since this is just before the climb, we'll make sure that we've got some heat. That should be enough. And let's see how we can get her out of this situation. We'll give her a bit of reg, and we'll ease off the brake. A little bit of slip, but nothing to be too concerned with. I wouldn't want to do this with full ore cars. That's just going to be way too much. So we'll go along the valley at about 60. I might feather that down to 50. See how we go. Nice wide shot of where we're going, all the way down there on the right hand side. And then back again. She's loud. We're currently at 60 reg. Now if you compare that to Daisy, who does the WOG run, who's a quarter 2, she comes along here at 50 regulator, happily with 12 state cars with lumber and beams on her. So it just shows you the weight that these ore cars have. Let's bring her back a little bit. Don't want to run away too much. Currently at, we'll try 40. You can hear it bogging down when you get into curves. S situation there. That tree's probably, yeah, a bit close. Give her a bit more egg, up to 50 again. This is a little bit more of a technical drive than most of the runs. Because of the weight involved, you do have to gather it a bit. Almost playing with the keys. Actually, I know this corner here is our tightest corner. I'm making sure I don't go into it too hot. Winding it back a bit. Out the window. Beautiful view. Being careful not to make it go too fast. Gotta remember that the engine isn't the train. You don't want to be whipping those ones at the back around that corner too much. Now that we've cleared that area, we can start opening her up. Up to 70. From here on in, it's a relatively smooth curve. Looking at the iron mine, we're coming in on that higher orange line. We'll do just from above. From here, we'll lose audio for a sec. Here, go around, and then out this way. We've got to be careful of this cross. It's quite steep, or you call it, sharp. Yeah, the Mogul does a really good job for this. I wouldn't want to use the Class 70, it's just a little bit too big as an engine. And obviously you can hear the struggle it has, so a porter is not really in the equation. At this speed you probably could use a gear engine. I don't know if we're actually getting above the maximum speed of like a Heisler or a Climax. But the Mogul seems to be a really good choice for this run. I think it's something to do with the black paint, also matching the iron black that we're about to put in the hoppers. It's kind of like all dusty. It kind of more reminds me of black coal, the coal train. This is the area we're going to be careful of coming in here, keeping our speed down. I'm going to put my cylinder cocks on to remind myself to take it easy. It's kind of a balance here because this is some of the steepest tracks, so the whole way up here was up 3%, and then this last bit I had to push it up to 3.5 or something, maybe even 4, to get it up and over and up to the ridge, which is why it comes around the front rather than going up high. It just doesn't reach. From that point way down by the river to that point there is just higher than 3 degrees. A bit of energy to get around up that last climb. I don't actually want to be pulling too hard at this point. Make sure it doesn't run away from me. Fire's good, temps are good, we've got water. Engine's in a good situation. As we're flattening out, it makes it easier, so I'm dialing it back. I can bring her volume back up again so we can hear the sounds of the iron mine. Came in a little bit too slow. Normally I'd be rolling through here on 10 with a bit of momentum on the reg, but I did go a little bit too slow. I'm on the bell for a sec, so locals know that we've arrived. Give us a little bit more oomph. As long as you take this area with respect, nice and carefully, that's good. And we're nearly there. Now, because of the speed that this is happening at, I'm going to run forward and flip those points so that we end up underneath the chute and on our way home. You've got to take it slow. I mean, there is an impulse to really speed up there, but the train's still not around this really tight track. This stone wall is used to tell us where the center point is for the This is really slow. I'm tempted to believe that actually might be a truck with their brake on. I'll double check that. Alright. We'll load this up and rejoin as we go down the hill. Yep, let's head off. Nice and easy. Just going to lose audio for a sec. So what we're doing here is going down that the blackish line. So we're going to go down here. We'll have to change these points. This is the very common high line. Round and then all the way in and then back to home. I'll just jump out of this mode so I'm not looking at the window and look at the bell. There we go. Nice and easy. Looks like the bell just is in view. You can see even though this is relatively flattish downhill, we still are picking up some speed a little bit. A bit of beans as we start here. We've used about 500 to 1,000 water to get here. Not an inconsequential amount. Looking for a speed that's reasonable. This is probably a little bit slow. Slow and steady. This is there's a couple of areas where I flattened it out. There's a trough here. From this point to that point, I don't know whether it's right or wrong to follow the terrain down here. In the comments, tell me what you think about what the developers actually planned to do. Should I have actually followed this down further and then climb back up again, or should I just kept it flat? I don't know. I would use the ballast more here, but the triangle of it's really wide, and it actually sticks out of the stone sometimes. So you're kind of forced to use stone. At this height, it probably should have been trestle. I made the general rule: if you can't jump up onto it, it's too high for being stone. I'm not overly keen on areas like this. So it's hard to, there's a high point there and a high point back there, so it's hard to justify going up and down. You see the line that we came up on before, down there? If we are going back towards the sawmill, we come up on that line. That's that big steel bridge that we have over there. This gully I think I did a little bit too high. Come in here and reduce it a bit. We were on 10% regulator then, I was put it down to 0, so 0 reg, 0 brake. Just let it coast. It's quite a high difference, like to get across the valley. Now this does come down. And I have seen people make bridges that go directly across to this point here. But there's a point where you've got to be semi-realistic. But getting from this hump point, which is where we diverge down the back of the hill, and across, getting from there to up here is just insurmountable, and hence why I end up with this lower line. The points where we were spinning is just down here. Just down there. Some of this is a little bit high for my liking. There's a high point here. What I've done is a constant grade through here, and it's like 2%. Probably could have gone a little bit steeper and then shallowed this out a bit. It's a little bit fast for my liking. See the shapes. So I'm just going to give it a bit of slow down. Alright, and we are out of the valley and onto the plateau. Ahead of us over here is the waterfall. Looking at the map quickly. That right hand corner, that set of points we'll have to flip currently is incorrect for us, and we'll need to flip that. And we still have 9 cars. Yep. Fair bit of weight involved. I haven't cleared too many trees around here. Try to keep it natural. Points are just around this corner on the left here. I think this was flat where we are right now. I think I deliberately chose a slightly higher point over here as my reference point. That way I could get across the river, which is just to our right here. Down here. I'm actually going to run ahead here. So off to the right here goes down the river down to the coal mine. I'm not a big fan of doing that. If I had a multiplayer person, I would run back there and do those points. We'll deal with them when we come back the other way. So yeah, this low point here was my kind of my reference for height for all through here. This is why you end up with a thing here. This piece of stone here represents the high point of this part, so that this point here, there's like a ridge across here, so it gets a bit high over there, as in the amount of ballast you need, and then you go down. So that's my reference point. So yeah, turn the reg off, change to brake. Now most people will be over right here. When I first did this, I was using porters, and if you end up putting a rail through here, so there's a bit of a hump here, and so normally you'd go up here and around over here, but it ends up being about a 4.5–5% grade, and I've seen multiple YouTubers struggle doing that. By just cutting the corner off, you can keep it at a 3% grade, and then you get this beautiful waterfall shot. I might use that for the thumbnail. So a lot of people come across the top of the waterfall and go that way. I think the developers intended to go down here. Some of these points have got a little bit high for my liking. I'm going to keep this, particularly this area right here, got to really give it some respect. I've had a couple of derailments in here. Just taking that corner way too fast. Once we hit here, we're at the low point, and then we're climbing out for a little bit and then back down again. I think this is an intentional crossing point because there's this big spur here. Just using the momentum of it coming down the hill, and then that was kind of flat through there, and now we're going to go downhill again. Because we do have so much weight on the back of us, I am going to give this some brake. Normally I go down here at 0–0, but with this load being so heavy, it's worth keeping it a bit more under control. Waterfall again, so we've basically come way up here, round, down, and then est. So over our trestle we just took a photo out of before it's just here instead. So we've dropped a fair bit. There's a fair bit of drop involved. Trying to get a shot of the waterfall. I think I've got one there, in there somewhere. So normally if we're coming down the left-hand track, this is where we put the brake on, just to bring it under control. But with this little bit of extra weight, we've already got it on. Now, we set all these points before, multiple times, so hopefully it's all good. Go right and then right, we're going to go around that wide. And we're going to do a quick bell, still in the clocks to remember that we're in the yards. I'm just going to go around the smelter, come over here and park and put the coal in. Line to the right is up the gorge, and that's how we go and get the cordwood from the logging camp. We'll do that next. Yeah, and like that caboose now makes that inner track in a passing lane unusable. I think I might remove that second track. Nice and easy through the yards. A shot of the smelter. It's kind of hard with all the trees still there. So we've just brought 90 iron ores in, so really the next step is to do 90 worth of the cordwood. So it's 6 trucks at 8 each, so 6 times 8 is 48. So we'll probably go do 2 runs of this and bring back 80. That will fill up the yard from 34 up to 100 and give us some spares as well. This train, what we're going to do is we're going to pull in here, unload into the iron ore area, and then we'll back it up again and then park it in its parking spot. So these platforms can unload 3 at once. Well, they used to be able to do 3 at once. So that's what we'll do quickly. Feel free to skip to the end of the video if you just don't want to see the unloading. I'm just going to unload it, back it up and park it. Oh, that did not work. I clicked then and it did not register. Alright. I'm going to drop a quick save game. And unload you. Unload you. And our pile is going to break 100. See it slowly building up. I've had it up to 200 or 300 and it does get quite tall. Alright. 3 more cars. Give it some beans. I have a marker here. Just hits the thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we got them all 3. So this time when we did the last one, we need to remember to change the points. Otherwise we'll be walking back and forth twice. Next marker's down here. Yeah, these points were deliberately put just at the back of this platform so that when you're at the end, you can switch it and get it out there. I did initially have them all the way down here at the front, which is more of a traditional passing line, but I found that the motor would have to go up the hill and then back down the hill, and that wasn't great. All right. Last unload. Change the points. As I said, very specifically designed. No, that's not wanted. Oh, we were already going that way. That's good. Good. These are all nice and empty now. Give it some beans, because the couplers will be reversed right now. Now, because of this crossover here, I have to do something kind of janky. I need to move this train up the track, and I actually have to park it on the hill a little bit, because I need to be able to get through here. Originally what I did is I split the train and then just put half of it forward. I'm 50-50 about which way is better. Parker. I won't bother showing you, but I will fill her up with water as well when we park. Come on. And that is a iron ore mine run to go get the iron ore. It's quite fulfilling to get 90 at once. I like seeing the pile grow, and it's got a nice dome to it now. My preference is to actually keep this in the 200-300 range, so you really can see it. This game comes alive, or at least looks a lot better when the yards are full of material. Much better than when they're completely empty. Slide this in. This marker indicates where the back of the tender needs to go in this case, or actually the gap, so that way the water lines up. Because the water's back here, it's kind of hard to line it up visually. And about there. Alright. That's good enough. Cool. Well, next time we'll just move that train out of the way. So we've got a little gap in our line, and it will go to a Cordwood run up through the gorge, which doesn't take too long. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.